The earth remembers. Long after men have buried their sins, the ground keeps its secrets, patient as stone. In the red soils of Tanzania, there is one secret that refuses to stay buried. A diamond the locals call Moyo wa Giza, the heart of darkness. They say it pulses faintly when the night is still, like a heart that never died, waiting for the next hand foolish enough to claim it. And wherever it surfaces, blood is certain to follow. The first written account of the stone came in 1896, when German colonial soldiers raided a Chaga village near Kilimanjaro. The villagers were said to be guardians of a strange star stone, a gem that shone with its own light. What the soldiers found was a diamond the size of a man's fist, black at its core, yet glowing faintly like embers beneath ash. To claim it, the soldiers slaughtered dozens. But in the weeks that followed, madness overtook their regiment. Officers shot themselves in their tents. Soldiers murdered one another over imagined insults. Some wandered into the bush, eyes vacant, never to return. When reinforcements finally came, they found the fort abandoned. The diamond was gone. The locals whispered it had not been stolen. It had chosen its path. More than a century later, whispers began again. A London scholar, Dr. Amelia Grant, received a letter without signature, only a trembling scrawl across brittle paper.
The heart stirs again. If you seek the truth of our dead, come to Kilimanjaro.
For Amelia, this was not just an invitation, it was a challenge. She had dedicated her career to tracing the dark legacies of empire, to exposing how artifacts of blood and conquest were paraded as museum treasures. Most scholars turned away from cursed relics, dismissing them as superstition. Amelia could not. Her flaw was not curiosity, but obsession, and the heart of darkness was a thread she could not ignore. The trail led her to a small village at the mountain's base, a place where the massacre of 1896 was still spoken of in hushed tones. It was here she met Sarah Nyerere. Sarah was a local historian, her voice sharp as flint, her gaze steady with quiet fury. She did not welcome Amelia.
You come to strip stories from bones,
she said, folding her arms.
The stone does not want study, it wants silence.
But Amelia persisted, and grudgingly Sarah revealed what the elders feared. The diamond had surfaced again, not in shrines or museums, but in the hands of a secretive cabal, the Order of the Veiled Crown. Sarah told her the Order were not strangers. They were descendants of colonial soldiers and local elites who had sworn themselves to the stone generations ago. They guarded it like scripture, hiding in shadows, trading its whispers like currency. Rumors claimed the Order stretched beyond Tanzania, into Nairobi, London, even Berlin. Men of wealth and power who built fortunes while feeding the heart with lives. Sarah's own brother had been lost to the sea years ago during a mining expedition. She was convinced his name was written in the gem's unseen ledger. To seek answers, they went to the last surviving shaman of the Chaga line, an elder named Kofi. He was nearly blind, his eyes milky with age. But when Amelia and Sarah sat before him, he seemed to see through more than sight.
The stone does not rest,
he rasped.
It feeds on greed, on fear, on betrayal. It is not kept by hands, but by hearts it rots.
His words carried the weight of generations. Amelia pressed for more, hungry for detail, but Kofi only gave them a riddle.
When men dig where blood once fell, the earth answers with hunger.
Sarah bowed her head in respect. Amelia clenched her jaw, unsatisfied. That night, Amelia dreamed of the diamond. She saw it glowing in darkness, cradled by a hand not her own. When she woke, her nails had carved crescents into her palms, blood beating at the cuts. Sarah, too, confessed she heard whispers, her dead brother calling from beyond the grave. And when they found Kofi at dawn, the old man trembled before the fire, claiming the flames had spoken.
They know you are here. The Order watches.
The warning proved true sooner than expected. A convoy arrived at the village, black SUVs that looked out of place against mud roads and grazing goats. From them stepped Victor Holm, a wealthy European tycoon with mining interests across the continent. His suits were immaculate, his smile rehearsed, but his eyes carried a fever that no Polish could hide. He claimed he sought to invest in the land. But Sarah spat at his feet.
You want the stone.
Victor did not deny it. Instead, he told a story. His great-grandfather had been among the regiment of 1896. He had lost his fortune, his family, his sanity to whispers of a cursed diamond. Madness, they called it. Victor said softly, I call it theft. For him, reclaiming the heart was not greed. It was inheritance. Amelia saw in Victor what she feared in herself, a soul that confusion mistook for destiny. He gathered men, miners armed with picks and rifles, and marched them to the ruins of the old German fort. The place where the massacre had begun was overgrown with vines, rifles rusting beneath roots, bones buried in silence. The men hacked at the ground, their tools clanging against history. The deeper they dug, the more accidents followed. One slipped and snapped his neck on the rocks. Another drove his pickaxe into his own arms, screaming that insects crawled beneath his skin. By the second day, 3 men were dead. And still, Victor pressed on. Amelia watched in growing horror as the soil grew damp with blood and rain. Sarah muttered prayers beneath her breath. And then, as Kofi had warned, the earth answered. The ground trembled. A low groan rising like something exhaling after long sleep. The pit cracked open, spilling red dust into the air, and within the split earth, something glowed. The diamond. It was larger than Amelia had imagined, its surface slick with soil, veins of black are running through its core, yet it pulsed faintly, steady as a heartbeat. The miners froze, unwilling to touch it. Even Victor hesitated. Then, unable to resist, he descended the rope ladder himself. His boots sank into the damp earth. When his hand closed over the stone, silence fell. The birds stilled. The wind stopped. Even the clouds above seemed to hold their breath. For a moment, Victor's expression flickered with awe. But then the gem pulsed once in his grip, a slow throb like living flesh, and his eyes changed. The fever within them burned brighter. That night, the camp did not sleep. Amelia lay awake, hearing voices seep through her tent walls. They were not English, not Swahili, not German, but a chorus of tongues that pressed into her skull like hot iron. She stumbled outside and saw Victor by the fire, the diamond in his lap. His lips moved silently, his eyes locked on its glow. Sarah appeared at her side, clutching a beaded charm.
He's speaking to it.
She whispered. Amelia's stomach twisted.
No,
She said softly.
it's speaking to him.
By the second night, the camp felt less like an expedition and more like a prison. The miners avoided one another's eyes. Their laughter was gone, replaced with mutters and sudden shouts in the dark. One man woke screaming, convinced someone was standing at the foot of his cot. Another refused to eat, claiming the food smelled of blood. Amelia herself caught her reflection in a basin of water and swore, for a fleeting second, the face staring back wasn't her own. Its eyes were too dark, its mouth twisted in a grin she did not make. Sarah tried to keep the men steady, but even she faltered. More than once, Amelia saw her sitting apart, whispering prayers into her clenched hands, her shoulders shaking. The whispers were not only in Amelia's mind anymore. They threaded through the campfire smoke, curling through the trees, voices of the dead that would not rest. On the third day, Kofi returned, carried by trembling villagers who begged him to intervene. The old shaman, though nearly blind, walked with purpose to the pit, where the gem now rested, in Victor's tent. His voice rose like thunder.
You fools, do you not hear it? The earth remembers the blood you spill. You dig not for riches, you dig your own graves.
Victor laughed, though there was strain in it. He claimed the old man's words were relics of fear. But Amelia noticed something in Kofi's trembling hands as he pointed at the tent where the diamond lay. Not just fear, recognition. When Amelia pressed him later, Kofi admitted what he had long kept hidden.
I saw it once as a child,
He whispered.
My father buried it again in the hills. He told me if ever the heart wakes, it will not sleep twice.
That evening, more figures arrived, cloaked, masked, carrying torches. They came silently, slipping from the forest as if the night itself delivered them. The Order of the Veiled Crown had assembled. Amelia's breath caught when she saw their masks. Carved from wooden bone, painted with shapes of lions, fish, birds, serpents, as though each wearer gave themselves to a spirit of the land or sea. Sarah spat, clutching Amelia's wrist.
It begins.
Victor welcomed them like kin. He stood tall, the diamond clutched to his chest, its glow casting his face in sickly light.
Brothers, sisters,
He declared.
at last it returns to us. Tonight, the covenant is renewed.
The abandoned mission church loomed on the hill like a skeletal sentinel, its collapsed roof gaping at the starless sky. Termite-eaten walls exhaled the rot of forgotten sins. Cobwebs draped the rafters like funeral veils. As Amelia, Sarah, and Kofi slipped in behind the masked procession of the Order, a chill wind whispered through cracks, brushing their skin like icy fingers clawing for purchase. Victor carried the Heart of Darkness like a sacred relic, its glow spilling crimson across the broken pews. He placed it upon a circle of carved stones, each etched with animals, lions, serpents, birds, that seemed to writhe in the red light. The Order, their faces hidden behind bone masks, formed a ring around it, torches raised. Shadows stretched and bent unnaturally, as though the ghosts of the 1896 massacre were already stirring within these walls. Kofi's rasp echoed in Amelia's mind. The heart claims souls after 3 dawns. On the third, Greed awakens the bound rage, the spirit of those butchered long ago. Only shattering it here, in this desecrated ground, can sever the blood ritual. But the price is high. Sarah's nails dug into Amelia's arm, her voice trembling.
I saw him again in the smoke. My brother. He's screaming for me to end this.
Her eyes were wide with grief, haunted. Amelia squeezed her hand, but before she could speak, Victor raised his arms, his voice cracking with fever.
Brothers, sisters, the covenant renews tonight. The heart isn't a curse, it's our birthright. It chose us, the veiled crown, to wield its power over empires, old and new.
The chanting began, low, guttural, a weave of German commands and Swahili invocations that scraped the air raw.
Blut und Erde, Moyo wa Giza, bind us.
The diamond pulsed in rhythm with the chant, each throb heavier, louder. Black vapor seeped from cracks in the church floor, writhing like smoke underwater. Amelia's stomach twisted as whispers clawed into her mind. Her grandfather's voice, the colonial officer who had led the slaughter of 1896, hissed in her skull.
You can't atone, girl. Join the bloodline. Claim it.
She staggered, clutching her head, while around her the order swayed, intoxicated. Then a crack thundered above. Snap! A rafter splintered, dust raining down like ash. One masked woman shrieked, clawing at her eyes.
It's in me! The rage seized me.
She convulsed, froth bubbling at her lips as the entity tested the weak. Another tore off his mask, sobbing.
I see them! The villagers! Throats cut! Rising!
In terror, he lunged at a fellow member, mistaking him for a ghost. Fists flew, screams tore the air, and the entity fed on their frenzy. The vapor thickened, swelling into tendrils that coiled around the circle. From the shifting mass, two vast eyes opened, blacker than night, drinking the light. The bound rage had come. Kofi staggered forward, his frail frame shaking, but his voice thunderous.
Fools! You fed it betrayal, 3 days of greed, and now it hungers for your souls. Shatter the heart, or it binds forever.
Victor's face twisted, his voice distorting as the curse deepened.
Silence, old man. The heart chose me. My great-grandfather lost fortune and sanity, but I will restore us. I will rise where he fell. You will bow or burn.
The gem pulsed violently. Tendrils lashed out, curling around Sarah's ankle. She screamed, torch in hand, visions flooding her. Her brother's drowned face, pale lips whispering.
Save me, sister. Don't let it take you too.
With a sob, she hurled the torch at the heart. Flames licked its surface, but the gem only glowed brighter, angrier. The bound rage roared, a thunderous sound that split bone from marrow. Amelia fell to her knees, clutching her ears. Her grandfather's voice peaked in her skull. She looked up at Victor, his arms outstretched, veins blackening, eyes blazing like coals.
Take me,
he begged the shadow.
make me whole.
No.
Amelia cried, rage boiling through her fear. She spotted a jagged altar stone, its weight heavy as judgment. She staggered to her feet, tears streaking her cheeks.
This ends the bloodline.
With every ounce of strength, she brought it down. The diamond cracked. The sound was not of stone, but of a soul tearing. A scream ripped through the world, the bound rage, shrieking sky and earth apart. The order convulsed, masks splintering, throats choking on unseen hands. Victor laughed once, broken. Then the shadow surged over him like a lover's embrace. His scream gurgled into silence as his body withered into dust. The church heaved, rafters collapsing, symbols glowing molten red. Sarah seized Amelia's arm, yanking her toward the doorway.
Run, before it takes us too.
Silence fell, broken only by Kofi's ragged cough from the rubble. He clutched Amelia's hand, his voice weak.
You've ended it, but pieces scatter, and the heart always finds its way back.
Amelia turned her palm over. Black veins spread faintly across her skin, pulsing in rhythm with something that was no longer there. She tried to scrub them, but they remained. And far away in Nairobi, a pawnshop keeper examined a shard of diamond, black at its center, glowing faintly in the dark. That night, as he drifted to sleep, he heard a whisper.
Mine.